Hello, Sonder fam. Welcome to our Sonder Social. Thank you for letting us take a few more minutes than usual to get started. Full disclosure, Malika is actually supposed to be your host tonight, but she got unexpectedly detained. So I'm filling in until she can join us. Hopefully that will be soon, but that's okay. That's why we usually have two of us here for these events, just in case crazy things happen, because that's life. So you get me for a little while, and then maybe Malika will be able to join us a little bit later. But that means that I am going to be working with her slides tonight as well. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. For those of you who are still hopping on, be sure that you set your chat to everyone. That way you can share with the group tonight, because the chat is the way that you communicate with each other in these events. And in my opinion, that's one of the best things about these events, is that you get to really spend time with our amazing community. So make sure that you have that chat set to everyone. If you are newer to Sonder Socials, or you haven't been to one in a while, or this is your first journal prompt one, what this is going to look like is we'll have some examples and things up on the screen. Maybe not as many examples in like the journal prompt socials as we would in like a setup, but you'll also get lots of tips and tricks from everybody here in the chat. So if you get stuck on something, if you are like, man, I'm drawing a blank, or whatever the case may be, shout it out in the chat, because you've got a group of some of the most amazing people here that are ready to help and support however they can. But feel free to take screenshots as we go through of anything you want to refer back to. And at the end, if you feel like snapping a photo of your own journal, we would love to see that if you feel comfortable sharing. So real quick, I'll run through our community guidelines here. So first, be kind and courteous to yourself and to others. Second, no promotions or spam, please. Three, respect everyone's privacy. Four, no hate speech or bullying. We're going to limit repetitive product and accessory questions. We don't mind a little bit of chatter around that. We just want to make sure you all have enough time to do your normal stuff here. I see lots of chatter. There's lots of kitties here tonight. My kitty is actually over here in the in the corner as well. His name is Groot. And then, whoop, anything that I am not able to help you with or answer, I'll direct you over to the headquarter team at Silk and Sonder for that. Their email is hello@silkandsonder.com. Give them a couple days to get back to you, but they are the true rock stars that can help you with anything and everything you may need. And then finally, our Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community, but you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. So if while we go through things tonight, especially since it is a journal prompt social, if anything in the crunchy feeling realm, as I like to call it, starts to come up, take a deep breath, check in with yourself, ask yourself if that is something that feels like you might want to dig in deeper on, or if it's something that you just want to come back to later. That is okay. You should feel empowered, hopefully, to make your own decisions with whatever feels right for you this evening. As you all know, our theme this month is joy, and I gotta say, I am so thankful to be here with all of you this evening. I actually had a really rough day yesterday. The kitty that I mentioned, Groot, he went to the vet yesterday for some routine vaccinations, and he actually had a pretty strong reaction to them. I grew up with animals, cats included, and I've never had an animal have a reaction to a vaccine before. And so we ended up at the local urgent vet. Thankfully, we have one very close by us. But it was really scary, and it was a very emotional day. He is such a source of joy for me in my life. He makes every day for me a little bit brighter. He's always so excited to see me when I get home, and he cuddles with me every morning. He's just the sweetest little baby. And so I was just like totally heartbroken that there could maybe be something wrong. Thankfully, he seems to be feeling much better today. Come here, come say hi. Here he is. He seems to be doing better today. Yeah, yeah, just a little sleepy from all of his ordeal yesterday, which I can understand. He was poked and prodded a lot yesterday, so hopefully he continues to feel better and all will be well. But all that to say, I definitely need time with my Sonder fam tonight to kind of help me emotionally re-regulate and spend some time thinking about joy together. So thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for all the well wishes for me and for group. We both really appreciate it. So we are going to complete an opening activity together. This will not be pre-printed in the journal anywhere. So that'll be a blank page or space that you'll complete that on. Then we're going to look at the gratitude log on page 13 and the solo date exercise on page 16. So for our opening activity, so I am like just seeing this and it looks super fun. So we're gonna flip to a blank page. When I say I'm just seeing this, I mean like I saw it 30 minutes ago. But we're gonna flip to a blank page and think about colors of joy. So in your journal, you're gonna list at least 5 different colors that bring you joy. And then we're going to spend a few minutes focusing on each color. So visualizing like a serene space filled with that color maybe, and thinking about how does that make you feel. And then for later, if you get the opportunity to go and walk in nature, try to identify objects in your 5 joyful colors. And see how those colors in nature make you feel. So this one comes with a little extra credit if you get an opportunity to go on a walk sometime in the near future. I love this exercise because I am a colors person. Um, I don't know if you can see behind me, but like the artwork that's up on the wall, it's black and white, but it also is like got all these little neon dots and things with it. I am a big bold colors, patterns, whatever, etc. person, so color is everywhere in my life. Malika is a little bit opposite of me on that. So what she has up here for her slide is she said these colors represent the colors present in her bedroom, and it's her safe space. It's neutral with pops of sage green, gold, and mauve pink for a touch of femininity. And then the real showstopper of her bedroom is her view. It's a piece of art that is the city where she lives, and it makes her feel inspired to chase opportunities, live in abundance, and live out her dreams on her own terms. So I love that. So whether you are like Malika and you're more on like the neutral side of things, or you're like me and you love big, bold colors anywhere and everywhere, I think this is a really fun exercise to kind of dive into. I'm one of those people that I don't have a favorite color. I love all the colors. So I feel like I would have to just think about what 5 colors bring me joy today because it could be tomorrow. So I'll put on some music for you to think about what your colors are. Share in the chat what is coming up for you. I'll be sure to share as well. And then we will move into our next activity together. Just popping on real quick to check in. See lots of really good, great variety of colors shared in the chat. So don't forget to then look at that second bullet point and think about how each one of those colors makes you feel. I know for me, I shared in the chat, like pastel colors are coming up for me. And I think individually, they kind of all make me feel around the same way. Like they just kind of make me feel calm and like make me feel similar to the way that spring makes me feel kind of like hopeful, rejuvenated, that sort of thing, because that's typically where I see those colors come up. Except for the pink, it has like more of a warmness to it. And the blue, I think, probably makes me feel more relaxed compared to all of the other ones. So make sure that you're thinking about that second bullet point as we continue to work on this. Okay, thank you all for taking a little time to think about this. And don't forget, like, jot down a note somewhere in your journal, maybe to think about that for later option, about going for a walk in nature and trying to identify objects in your joyful colors. I might not be able to see a lot of pastel things right now because I do feel like typically those types of plants and things are blooming more in the springtime, but I might be able to find pastels and like twinkling lights of decorations and things that are out there. Sometimes it's like the reflection in water, like you never know where those colors might pop up unexpectedly. So if you get an opportunity to do that, be sure to take advantage and maybe just make yourself a note so that you don't forget. So we are now going to flip over to our gratitude log. This is on page 13 of our journal. Now, some of you may have already completed this or have an idea of what you might want to do with this. I know I typically fill out my gratitude log, one line each day is kind of how I do it. But we like to bring this into the socials because you can always take it as an opportunity to kind of dive deep into gratitude and kind of make something all at once rather than using it as a daily log. So, some things to think about when you're filling in your gratitude log. If you are going to be filling it in all the way today, or maybe that's something you want to do this week with Thanksgiving on the horizon, as we've got all these different categories and things that might be something to kind of spark that gratitude. Sometimes when we have really tough days, you know, I would hope that in tough moments, you can kind of try to find the bright spots. But the reality is that, like, sometimes that's just really hard to do. And if you've had a tough day today, or if you've had a series of tough days recently, sometimes you flip to that gratitude log page and it feels really overwhelming, can feel really daunting. And there's nothing more defeating than looking at the gratitude log and feeling like you're not sure what to write. So if you get stuck at that point, don't panic. Take a look at this slide and maybe something will jog your memory or make you think of something. Also, look at what folks will share in the chat as well, because that might bring up something as well. Also, if you are filling out this day by day, you could also consider making a gratitude log on a separate page or a blank page. Maybe you want to do like a daily log in the actual page, or you want to make like a gratitude bingo or a different kind of gratitude log to focus on this week. You are fully able to do that if you want to lean into it. This example was really cool. Somebody decided to kind of give themselves prompts to answer rather than thinking about something each day they could write down. They actually wrote out different prompts. So, for example, a family member I'm grateful for, a book I'm grateful for, something small I'm grateful for, a friend I'm grateful for, etc. And if I remember correctly, they were going to try to answer it each day, but not necessarily go in order. So if, on the fourth day they had trouble thinking of a friend they're grateful for, I know that makes me really sad, but sometimes it happens, right? Relationships are complicated, then they could just skip to another line that was maybe easier to answer that day. So that's also an example of something you could decide to do with your log. Here are some other gratitude log examples. We've seen them before where it's like the sunshine, and then we have like the normal line format here. I think this person was highlighting like weekends here. They were like kind of putting weekends in their boxes, which is something interesting to think about. Maybe you are seeing like gratitude creep up more often on weekends versus weekdays, or vice versa. So just something to like think about and pay attention to. And then here are some more examples here. And I'm just going to double check. Yep. Cool. Just wanted to make sure I got through all of the wonderful examples that Malika had put in here for us. So, all that to say, you can tackle this however you want to. If you are filling this in line by line and you've already been doing that, and you don't want to do anything different, or you don't want to make a separate page or a separate like gratitude bingo to look at this week or anything, that's okay. Just hang out, enjoy the music, enjoy the chat, maybe work on your coloring page if you still need to do that, or maybe work on that coloring exercise we did earlier a little bit more. I'll put on some music and cycle through these slides for us, and then we'll come back together here. Thank you all for spending some time with this page and sharing some of the things that you're grateful for, some of the ways that you're incorporating this into your regular routine. I know some folks had said that they were maybe going to look at adding this as a habit either for weekly or monthly, or like me, they already have it as a regular habit for themselves. Also, there was a little bit of chatter in the beginning, I think, about leaning into it a little bit more this week specifically because of Thanksgiving. So the social is super timely, I think. So thank you all so much. We are now going to flip over to page 16 for our solo date exercise. So this prompt says, imagine you're planning a full date day for yourself to make you feel joyful. Describe in detail what you're wearing, who you're with, where you're going, and what you're doing from morning until evening. Write freely. So for me, when I think about like a solo date day for myself, I actually think about being alone. It's not because I don't enjoy hanging out with like friends and family and people that are important to me, but when I just hear the word solo date day, I think about being with myself. And I think like in a perfect world, I'm like in Disney World having the time of my life by myself. But I wanted to lean into this a little bit more and think about like how I would do this on a regular day-to-day, time, because I'm a lot more likely to get like an actual solo date here in my regular life and not when I'm on vacation. Um, I'm a comfy person, so I'm gonna dress as comfy as possible for my day. I like if I could just live in like sweatpants, I would. I absolutely love sweatpants. So I think that if I really think about it, I'm gonna be by myself. I'm probably gonna run out of the house in like yoga pants to go grab some like snacks and maybe food from like a local restaurant so that I can just kind of eat at home. And I'm probably just gonna spend it at home, like pop some popcorn, watch all my favorite like cheesy movies that nobody else ever wants to watch with me, or like they do occasionally watch with me, but only because they love me. Not because they actually like enjoy them, but being like intentional about it, right? Like I think that I have a lot of days that look a little bit like that, not the running out and getting myself treats necessarily part, but the sitting on the couch and throwing on a favorite show or a favorite movie. But a lot of the times it's just kind of a, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I just want to sit here and throw like on a comfort show or a comfort movie or whatever. It's not like intentional. And I think being intentional about it feels really different. It feels more like an experience that I've really like set up for myself, right? Like making sure I've got the popcorn with my favorite popcorn seasoning and like maybe a few like favorite candies or those special meal treats. And having like a list of movies that like I'm gonna intentionally watch, already like thought about ahead of time, cozy, freshly washed blankets and all the pillows and all the cozy things, favorite candle burning, being really intentional like that makes it feel really different. So having done this exercise, I think I feel called to kind of do that for myself and carve that time out the next time that I have an opportunity for that. Oh, Gabby, my favorite popcorn seasoning that I've tried so far, I think it's garlic parmesan. I can't remember the name of the company, but it has like the happy face like popcorn kernel on it. Like I can see the the package or whatever. But that's the one I have tried that I've really enjoyed the most so far. Now, Malika provided like screenshots of like photos and stuff of what her perfect solo date is. And so you can see like she's gonna get dressed up and feel good and look cute. She's gonna like go browse a local bookstore and maybe go into like some shops locally and pop around, especially right now. Kind of lean into some of those like holiday decorations and things that are out and about out in the city, and stop by for like some wine and cheese that looks super yummy. So once again, she and I are kind of like on opposite spectrums. We were on opposite spectrums with our colors, and now we're on opposite spectrums with our date days, which is really funny because Malik and I actually like chat pretty regularly and we have a lot in common. So it's really funny that like our colors and our date days are so like different from one another. But it just goes to show, I think, you know, I think it kind of highlights our community in general and how a lot of us are like really different, but we all connect so well with one another because we're on this similar journey of trying to kind of learn more about ourselves and discover more. And so even though our journeys might look really different, it's always really nice to get to spend time with one another because we have so much in common, even if our preferences are different. So I am going to put on some music for you all to think about what your solo day exercise will be. Again, as it says on the page, feel free to write freely, right? Nobody is gonna come over and grade this journal later. They're not gonna be like, you put all this on this paper and then you never scheduled this time with yourself. Doesn't matter. Visualization is powerful. We would all like to get to a place where we write something like this out and then we make plans for ourselves and we actually execute on it. That's my intention. Whether or not I actually follow through, who knows? But the value of just sitting and visualizing this is huge all on its own. So don't be afraid to get creative and write whatever speaks to you. And I'll come back on in a few minutes for us to wrap up. Hopping on to check in and first say welcome to Malika. She made it. She's here. But also, I think it was Christy or Chris that had a good idea about, or maybe it's Christina, about doing a version of this where one is where you go out and one is where you stay in. And then Malika also has these really great ideas here for us to think about, different things to incorporate into your day. So if you're still looking for inspiration, or if you have already done one day, now you want to think about the other, we've got some good ideas up here for you. So I'll put on a little bit more music, but just wanted to check in and offer those suggestions as well. thank you all so much for taking time with this prompt and not only considering how you want to fill this out, but also considering like different types of solo dates for when you're in different moods. And I know we've all kind of started chatting a little bit about, oh, maybe I need more than one. Maybe ideally I would try to make this a regular occurrence with myself, whether it's once a month or once a quarter or whatever the case may be. I love it. And I think it just goes to show that when we actually give ourselves some space and time to think about being intentional with ourselves, it's kind of amazing all the different options that we have. It's just life gets so busy and kind of gets ahead of us and gets in our way sometimes that it makes it really hard to find time to do those things if we're not being intentional about it. So the more often that you can get a plan together and block out that date on your calendar because it is an actual date with yourself, right? The more likely you are to kind of succeed and see it through. But I think it's nice to have multiple options too, because what if you plan like a whole solo date that's outside, you block it out on your calendar, you're ready to go, and then the weather is just terrible that day? So defeating, right? But if you have a backup cozy date idea, good to go, right? Easy to change plans. So I hope you all enjoyed this exercise as much as we did. We would love to see your pages completed if you feel comfortable sharing them in Sonder Club. I know that we got to kind of get some insight in the chat here, but obviously anybody not here tonight did not get that insight, and I'm sure they would love to see what you set up, how you're doing this, what you're tackling, and your inspiration if you feel willing and compelled to share. As always, we're still doing our Refer a Friend program, so you'll get $10 off. They'll get $10 off if you refer them to Silk and Sonder. You can use that link there. And then you guys could come to Sonder Socials together, and we would love to have you here with us. If you're not already an annual subscriber, something to consider, especially as you start making those lists and things heading into the holiday season. It can save you quite a bit of money in the long run. So if you already know that you're going to be keeping them around for a while, something to think about. And then please fill out the survey. Let us know what you thought about this social. I promise that whether it seems like it or not, all of the feedback gets looked at and reviewed and compiled. We have made changes to Sonder Socials over the years. It's wild to think that we've been doing this for years now, but we have, based directly off of your feedback. So definitely let us know. And Malik is throwing all of these links into the chat as well as the YouTube link where the recording of this social will be available in a few business days, along with the majority of our others. There's getting close to like 800 socials up there. So also if you ever need a social and there's not one that fits with your schedule, if you can't go back and watch it, you can always just go back in time and watch one that's brand new to you. So thank you all so much for being here tonight, and thank you for being patient with us as we figured out things on the fly here together. I know that I feel in a much better mood having gotten to spend time with all of you. So until next time, be good to each other, and we'll see you all in Sonder Club.
I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. I know that you are something special. To you, I'd be always faithful. I want to be what you always needed. Then I hope you'll see the heart in me. I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. You're the one I want to chase. You're the one I want to hold. I won't let another minute go to waste. I want you and your it too. I don't wanna waste your time. Do you see things the way I do? I just wanna know that you feel it too. There is nothing left to hide. I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. You're the one I wanna chase.